Cold brew engulfs me. It entwines with my bitchin' soul. Toilet, forgive me. Hey everyone, Brace here, welcome to the video. Thanks for clicking on it. So in an effort to improve, I've been trying to work on my audio settings, and I think I've got something figured out which should be a bit of an improvement. So going forward, my videos will go from this, and now it will sound like this. So hopefully you can hear the difference. I can anyways. Anyway, so today we're talking about Ghost of Tsushima, and I try to stay away from the console wars as much as possible, but this is yet another awesome exclusive for the PlayStation library. Unless anyone wants to argue against that. Alright then, let's jump into it.
Alright Ramblers, let's get rambling.
So this game was developed by a company called Sucker Punch, who was actually the same company that made the series Infamous. Infamous was actually bundled with my PS3, and so it was the first game I ever played for that console. And to this day, it's still one of my favorites for the PS3. I enjoyed the sequels less and less, with the third and final entry, Second Son, being my least favorite of the three. Or at least, I guess I should say, it's the final entry for now. Maybe they'll revive the series one day. Anyway, that was back in 2014, and I sort of forgot about the Infamous series for a few years, as well as the developer. But little did I know is that they were hard at work behind the scenes. And so, 6 years later came Ghost of Tsushima, releasing in July of 2020. And the game is still going strong over a year later with a director's cut, PS5 release, and new DLC. Today I just wanted to cover the base game, and for those who are on the fence, the price has gone down a bunch, and for anyone waiting for a PS5, I can confirm it's a great looking, fun PS4 game. I have footage from late in the game, but I'll avoid any story spoilers to be sure. So how do you sum up an open world game like this? Well, I like to do comparisons, and just on a personal note, I usually have a stack of games that I'm going to play through next, and it's a lot of Switch right now. But on the PlayStation side, one of the next games I was going to play was actually Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And actually after playing through Ghost of Tsushima, I kind of feel like I just played through an Assassin's Creed game. And that's maybe the closest comparison I can make. It's sort of an Assassin's Creed game set in ancient Japan. So first, let's set the stage. So the setting is a Japanese island, Tsushima, in the year 1274. A Mongolian fleet has just invaded.
Goddamn Mongolians!
And the fleet was sent by Kublai Khan. 1274. I should probably check out the historical accuracy of this real quick. So let's see, wasn't Wong Kublai Khan in the Marco Polo show? Okay, and then cross-checking that.
The lady in that car over there said that Marco Polo was in the year 1275. So it's not just a water sport. I knew it.
Okay, I guess that checks out.
When did the Mongols rule China?
I don't know. I just work here.
The island of Tsushima is definitely the star of the show. It's a vast island with sort of the standard 3-region structure that unlocks as you play through the story. Actually very similar to Infamous, and even going back to old PS2 games like GTA 3. With such a massive map, they're able to throw in all kinds of different areas. Even simple things like just changing the color of the leaves gives the area a whole different style. We've got sandy beaches, snowy mountains, forests of bamboo, and many more. The architecture is fantastic, with so many little details like even moss growing on the stone bridge railing, and many stone lanterns. Even here, I was just standing on a cliff and noticed that there were waves crashing against the rocks below. It's maybe the best looking video game world I've ever seen. I don't know, maybe that's going too far, but it's definitely up there. Even after something like 40 or 50 hours of playing, I was still stopping in awe to take screen captures of things I wanted to share in this video. And yes, 40 to 50 hours, it's a big-ass island. Maybe that's a plus or a minus for you, I don't know. But it's a massive place to explore. Speaking of which, I found a really useful map that contains all the points of interest, and I figured I'd share it in this video, so you may even want to come back to this later and pause it while you're playing through the game. Here it is. So in all seriousness, each of those dots is a fast travel point, and I also found the load time surprisingly fast, so zipping around the island to previously explored parts of the island is super easy. When you're not fast traveling, you'll most likely be riding by horse, and one neat thing is that they allow you to pick the name of your horse from 3 different options. I went with 𝐾𝐨, which translates to shadow, since I picked the black horse. Alright, well, enough gushing over the setting, I guess. Let's get into the gameplay. So again, I like using comparables for other games, not in a negative way like they stole this element from this game or that, but I just think it makes it easier to explain. So we've got some light climbing mechanics similar to, say, Uncharted, since we're looking at a PlayStation exclusive, and you can only climb the rocks that are clearly identified. We also get a grappling hook like, say, I guess Tomb Raider, and the map also has tons of enemy outposts like, I suppose, a Far Cry game. And you can sneak into the camp, and you can use things like silent takedowns, which are kind of all over the place these days, so take your pick, but as mentioned, Assassin's Creed kind of comes to mind. So when it comes to fiction and pop culture, I've always been more of a fan of ninjas and characters that are sort of willing to do whatever's necessary to win. Playing fair just isn't their style. Whereas samurai always seem more stubborn about their code and are constantly talking about honor. The prime example is in the movie The Last Samurai, where at the climax of the film, the enemy army has guns, while the samurai still use traditional weapons like swords, and their final strategy is to charge the guns and, well, die. I understand it's supposed to be an emotional, sad scene, and in the end, the Kid Emperor's guilt made him change his decision, but I remember watching this scene when I lived in Japan, no less, and I remember thinking, that's your plan? Imagine trying to explain this game plan to characters like Batman, Jack Sparrow, Han Solo, or Tony Stark.
Not a great plan.
So I was pleasantly surprised to see that this game addresses that, and the main character is initially resistant to the idea of stabbing people in the back, but over time embraces the idea that saving the island is more important than his honor. Other samurai look down on his methods to the point where he almost sort of becomes like Batman, a vigilante to give people hope. The character's name is Jin Sakai, and he sort of becomes, again, a folk hero. One we need, but don't deserve. Or something like that. I think that's how it goes. It's not all stealth though. The open combat and sword fighting mechanics are pretty much the core of the game. If you want, you can just walk right up to the enemy camp and initiate a minigame called a standoff. And in normal combat, we can do things like block, and we can parry attacks, we can dodge and roll out of the way, and we can stun enemies with throwing knives. Kunai.
Like he's like, you have 20 guys around him. I was there, man. He's got shit he throws at you. Then you
Like the sword. Yeah, you got the sword.
Exactly.
Shit, yeah, you throw it in the air, catch it underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah, shut the f*** up.
As you progress through the game, you can earn XP, unlock new abilities, and you're constantly picking up loot, which can be used to upgrade your armor and weapons. There's also lots of outfit options you can mix and match, and you can change some of the color schemes as well. Again, I sort of went with the ninja look, because that's how I roll. Personally, I found the combat addicting, which is important because, again, it's a huge portion of gameplay. So this is probably as good a time as any to mention this little awkward tidbit, which is violence against the Mongolian people. Well, Hey, I'm not saying I was into it, I was just getting into Mongolian heavy metal after playing Jedi Fallen Order. Moving into the missions, we won't say anything about the story, but there are some pretty cool side characters who each have their own set of missions, which delves into their background and motivations. There's also side missions that are just interacting with the random folks as you explore the island, though I must say the overall tone of this game is pretty depressing at times. In a way, you are sort of too late to save the island. The initial damage of the invasion is sort of already done, and there are some side missions that just end up with people mourning someone who already died. It's pretty sad at times.
Goddamn Mongolian!
Finally, as mentioned, there's tons of things to do, complete, and collect. Hidden shrines, hot springs, new colors for your swords. I'd actually say there's too many, and unfortunately I tried to 100% this game. I'm one stupid haiku away, and I'm unable to find it on the map. But I'm also shy a few shrines, and I also had no clue I was supposed to be bowing to wooden signs as I played through the game, so if I want to get the platinum, I do have a few things left to clean up, and I think I'm about 4 trophies away. So to sum up, it's a beautiful, vast, open world game. It has some stunning visuals and also some addictive gameplay as well. There's a decent story with cool side characters and quests, and if you want to 100% the game like me, you're probably looking at 40 to 50 hours, which should be plenty to justify the cost, which is now significantly lower since it's been out for over a year now. Anyway, I highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out already. Well, thanks for watching the video, I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you again in the future. Happy gaming, everyone.